This week, coming up from the ashes.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Phoenix. I am starting off the podcast today mainly because I know if I don't have some sort of an opening sequence, Arson may flip out. So this is our opening sequence, bringing you in to this, what is the start of our Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Enjoy.
Welcome, everyone, to the Bones Baron Bile Bilge. This is a first recording for this podcast. I figured we'd just go over a few things. How is everybody?
Confused.
Meh.
Alive.
I'm excited, man.
Oh,
Nope.
is this the wrong podcast?
Yes, it is.
Am I in the wrong channel?
You are, yes.
Oh, well, I'm here anyway, so on with the show.
For those of you confused, this is from the Ashes podcast, but you know, I get what he's talking about. But yeah, anyways, continue.
So to kind of set the scene, we here will be doing a game of Dungeons and Dragons. If you are not here for that, please leave now.
I'm out.
Everybody leaves.
Like Zombie's the only one in here. Like, uh-oh.
Just play the crickets. Well, so as has been requested, I will be going over some basic information about the setting. Kind of also opening it up to questions if you have any about what I talk about, and so forth and so on. So before, I know I have mentioned, and I'll mention it again, if you have any lines or crosses you wish to send to me, please do so. Basically, I'll go over it again. A line is something you are okay with being mentioned and kind of being referenced in the game, but you really don't want it to go much further than that.
Before we go too much further, see, I have that veto power to where I can like chime in anytime I want to. So, you know, so before we go any further, let it be known we are doing a D&D campaign. This D&D campaign is going to be played live on my Twitch, as well as others that are in here, if they decide to. We'll go into that more later. We plan on starting within the next 3 to 4 weeks, closer to 3 weeks now. But this is our planning phase, and we wanted to bring this to you guys, our listeners, because, you know, why not? We're doing this for you guys as much as us. And to give a little backstory to this, Arson and Grim came to me and was all about like, hey, we should do a D&D campaign. And I'm like, are you nuts? Like, look, the biggest problem I have with D&D is I cannot immerse myself into a character. It's the hardest thing I can do. I love RPG games, but when playing a life RPG, it's hard for me to become that character. I don't know if I can do it, and I still don't know if I can do it. But we're going to work that out and see how it goes. But Zhombi, for the time being, is going to be our dungeon master. And hence why he is really taking the reins at this episode, because we wanted him to be, you know, like noticed as the DM. The cast of characters are going to look a lot like the From the Ashes crew, as well as our guests from previous episodes, one being Raven. So but we got Arson and Grim, obviously. What's up, guys?
Hello. How's it
going? Oh, not too bad. Grim's muted.
No, he's eating his Wheaties.
his okay, yeah, we'll just go with Wheaties.
My dragon Wheaties.
And then of course I mentioned Raven. Raven has been in numerous episodes. He was even in on the shorts for the Star Trek shorts. So what's going on, Raven?
What's going on? Well, you know what the worst part about this is that I had actually been considering coming to you and saying, hey, what are your thoughts about a D&D campaign? It's just the other two beat me to it.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is I flat out shot it down. And then I was like, okay, I'll do it as if everybody is agreeing to show their face on cam. And then that went from that because I was like, haha, Arson will never agree to that. And then it went from that to like, fine, I'll do it. Like, it was just like, they didn't even like pressure me. They didn't even do anything to like stop it or like try to get like whatever. I literally just okayed it, and they're like, sweet, and also before I introduce the new person that's with us right now, there's also another new person that's going to be joining, but she's been in my Discord for quite some time. She is unavailable today, but that is Lippy. Lippy is going to be joining us for the D&D campaign, as far as I know. And yeah, so besides that, we have Vesa. Hi, Vesa.
Hello.
Now, Vesa is Raven's much better half. And he won't disagree.
Absolutely no argument from me.
See, and look, as long as I've known Raven, and I've known him a long time, she's known him like 10 years longer or whatever. Something like that.
That's about 10 years longer than you guys.
Yeah. So that right there just tells you how much crap she's had to put up with him.
What?
And I feel for her, but she did make her choice. And she is spoiled. She said that before. So
I am spoiled. It was the best choice I could have made, though.
Yeah, I agree. Raven's a good dude.
I mean, as spoiled as she is, just before we started recording, I was out there making her coffee and filling her water cup and getting her everything she needed.
Yeah.
So, go.
Who's filling your water cup, Raven?
Me. Me, actually.
All right.
I don't know why, but I feel like Phoenix is giving off that should have been me. I should have been the one up there at the altar with it.
Oh my gosh. No. Anyways, on that note, that's really all I wanted to say. But yeah, we will be doing this live on my Twitch. It's going to be on Sunday afternoons. And I have dogs barking in the background, so I'm going to stop right here and turn it back over to the fleshless one, Bones.
The fleshless one.
Yes, behold, I am the fleshless one.
It's a good title, man.
Yeah, so as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, lines and crosses. This goes into several things that I'm going to bring up about how I run the game. So the first one is I don't want to discuss or bring up anything that makes anybody either uncomfortable or something they have an issue with. So that's basically what lines and crosses are. A line is something, like I said, you're okay with being mentioned, but you're not really going into depth about. Cross is something you don't want in the game at all. And you can just send me a message, that's fine. And I'll make sure to that. The next one is, what type of game are you guys wanting? And I'm more referring to the lethality of the world. Because, I can run it to where if the monsters can use tactics, they will. They won't pull punches. It'll be, I'm not going to go out of my way to try and kill you off, but if it would make sense for the monster to finish you off, they will. Or, the complete opposite end of that spectrum is, character death is only going to happen if it's, you roll poorly and I roll really well. And kind of the reason behind it is, if you don't really want a game that's like, hey, I just want to come in, have fun. I don't want to have to worry about, my character dying a lot. If you're not having fun, I'm not having fun. So
Is that a question that you're actually asking us now, or is this
yes, that is a question that I'm wanting feedback on.
I mean, I can only speak for myself,
Well, yes.
but I am one of those D&D players that death is a part of the game. And I live by the rule of you never get attached to your character in game.
Okay.
I've had 2 characters die on me here recently. One character. And I went, okay, cool. I'll just roll up something else. Not a big deal. But I know other people who have gone and been very close to a breakdown because their character died because they were too attached.
Mhm.
So speak for me, I'm okay with, fighting for my life. That's half the fun of it, in my opinion. A good balance of that though is always good as well. But I'll be that one that, if I die session 1, I'll be like, okay, well, I'll just roll up another character for next week. Whatever.
Okay.
So it doesn't bother me at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little on the opposite of that. Like I'm not like you said, I'm not gonna have like a breakdown over it, but I'm gonna be like, oh man, that kind of sucks.
I'm kind of in the middle there. I don't want to have to fight for my life every time, but if it happens, it happens.
I'm going to name my first character Depresso.
Depresso.
I'm pretty middle ground with it because like I do get attached to my characters and like I am gonna be pretty bummed if they die, but I also understand it's part of the game. Like it happens, you know what I mean? So like you just gotta roll with the punches. That's how I see it anyway.
I'm also under the grounds that I have to make a new character, so that's more work for me, and I'm lazy. So
And just like you, Arson, I'm the exact opposite of that. I actually find the character creation part fun. My brother-in-law and I have you can ask Vesa. My brother-in-law and I pretty much after every session start theory crafting new character builds for things. I mean, she's getting ready to roll up another new character for a spin-off campaign that we're doing on that we play on Friday nights already. We're getting ready to do a spin-off campaign here in the next few months. And my brother-in-law, her and I have been sitting pretty much every week theory crafting what her character with her character. So I mean that's half the fun.
yeah, I can see that. I also do like creating characters as well. It's just when it comes to like since this is like entirely new for me, like I have to. It's not like something you do digitally, because like
You can. I do it digitally. I do it completely digitally.
I could, yeah. It's just like when I mostly do it, it's like the options are like already there. I'm not like used to like typing everything up again and then doing some of that stuff.
Mhm.
Again, this is still new for me, so I mean, I won't know until I do it myself. But it's just something to a concern, I suppose, that I'm bringing up.
Well,
I
for me,
definitely learn the character as I go because I am not one to sit there and, read and study every character. So I can become attached to them, but at the same time, it's kind of fun to learn how to play different types of characters.
well, and for me, for the ones that didn't catch that reference, I mean, we're fresh off of another episode where we talked about Pal World, and in Pal World, there's a character named Depresso, and he's always got like a depressed look on his face, and it's like you look at him like he's gonna just like please kill me now.
That actually would be a fun character kind of concept to play.
So
I can see so much potential in that. Oh my god.
So if I name my character Depresso, I'm not gonna get attached to it. Like,
oh my god, you could play that as a bard, and normally bards are bouncy and fun and just nutso and joking and stuff. Man, you can play that as a depressed bard and sing all sorts of depressing songs. Oh my god, that would be so much fun.
Give him Eeyore's voice.
Yes.
Hello. Or do
I
you
love
mean
how you-
Optimus Prime's voice?
No,
I mean, it's the same voice.
I know.
I like
Hello.
to imagine you make this character that you say you won't get attached to because like you think he's gonna die and he just survives the whole campaign.
Yeah, because
He's the only one that survives.
you can't
we
kill
all-
him
we all
because he
die
just
once
wants
at
to.
least.
Like, son
See,
of a.
that right there. That's another great way to play that character. Is that you're depressed, you're singing sad songs. Every chance you get, you put yourself in harm's way, but something always happens that like you don't die. Like at the very last second, that boulder hits a rock and jumps over you or whatever. Oh my god, that would be that.
Look, any other time I would roll a 1, but every time I would be rolling a nat 20 with him because of that. Like, son of a man.
Exactly.
Oh,
my
that's
god, we
funny.
could build you a character that would. Yeah,
I feel like I have to do this now.
I have ideas for you, bud. We'll talk later. Oh my god.
Exchange notes.
Oh gosh.
So what I'm hearing is you don't want it to be training wheels, but there are enough people that don't want it to be like, oh look, death is assured. So kind of something mid road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. And like I said, that's just because, you know, if you guys aren't having any fun, then I'm not going to be having any fun. So, so I'll start off by going over the races and how they kind of differ in my setting. Now, right now, I just have the core rulebook races done. If anybody wants any others, let me know, and I can post them on there to let you know kind of how they fit into my setting.
Do you want to let the people know what version we are playing?
No, they'll just guess. No, it's fine.
I was just say okay.
So we're going to be doing Dungeons and Dragons, the 2014 version of the rules. Is what I believe the group consensus was.
Yeah, I think we were talking about 5e 2024 rule set.
2014.
Or God, jeez, yes, 2014. And I was the one that advocated for it. Yes, 5e 2014 rule set.
Yes.
And
okay.
And I will let it be known for those that do watch my stream, during this particular stream, I will not be like paying attention to the chat because I'm going to try to stay in character the whole time. So I will let people know at the beginning. I'll have a mod in there to make sure they tell people that I'm in this character and I'm trying to not break that character. I'm going to do this for you guys because I'm always all about looking at my chat, right? So it's going to be really hard to do, but I'm going to try. I'm going to have a mod in there, and I'm going to have to give them a nickname so that I can like talk to them in the game. So we'll talk about that later. Anyways, go back to you, Zombie.
Okay. So like I said, I'm going to go over the standard races in the 2014 core rulebook and the differences that are listed that I have based off of how my setting has evolved over the decades. So humans, mechanically, they operate the same. There's no mechanical differences. There are 3 different basically ethnic groups that are you can play as. You don't have to pick one, but again, you can. So, and again, this is all listed on the website, on the Discord in the links. So for those of you play at home, if you want to, not if you're at home. Well, yeah, you're at home, but if you want to read along, you can. So the first one is Remian. These basically, I kind of have them styled as they're Asian culture. The other buildings kind of have like a Chinese or Japanese design to them. They're strictly an ancestor worship society. They don't typically view any of the gods as actually gods. They don't think that they exist. But they do view them as powerful spirits and entities. So they're not dumb. They're like, hey, look, these entities exist. We just don't believe that they're gods. It is expected that everyone does at least one term in their kingdom's military. It is not enforced. It is tradition, and they're very focused on tradition and duty. So the next one is Soren. They're kind of a combination of African and Caribbean cultures. A lot of their buildings have a Mayan or Aztec design. Not only do they believe in the gods, but they also believe they walk among us and can test you at any moment. They tend to be an easygoing people. They don't get worked up easily or get angry. That's part due to their homeland. And they're focused on helping people out and enjoying life. And the last one is Terzian, European, and it's just standard high fantasy design to their buildings. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep reading. It may be boring.
No, you're fine. We're just really, I'm just listening. Like, just, you know.
Yeah, you can read this guy to sleep if you want. A bedtime story.
Yeah.
So
Take offense if I start snoring.
So the next is elves. We'll start with the high elves. Again, the only mechanical difference is when you get to the dark elves. So for high elf, normal per the book, with a few exceptions. So they culturally tend to view clothes as a sign of burdens. The more you wear, the more burdens you have. So they do wear clothes around other races, but the further into Elven lands you get, the greater chance you will come across a town of high elves wearing no clothes at all.
Well.
So, yeah. Wood elves, again, normal per the book, except for a long period of time, they are considered second-class citizens to high elves. And as such, all wood elves were branded upon birth with a particular mark. After the Great Spirit War, they were freed of that second-class citizen status and are now treated as equals. But you still have some that are unhappy with how they were treated. Okay, so now we get to the Dark Elves, which there are actually two branches of Dark Elf in this setting. You have the standard, which is your standard drow society. Evil, basically. Because my deities are different, the standard D&D goddess Loth doesn't exist. And I really haven't had anybody delve that much into the evil deities, so suitable one doesn't exist in name yet, so insert standard drow evil deity here. If anybody wants to play an evil drow, let me know and I can come up with that.
Okay.
So, not that we're playing an evil game, as far as I'm aware, with the rating that we're playing it as.
And it begins.
That wasn't a dig at anybody at all. It was just basically saying, if you're gonna do a game where you're evil characters, doing it with that rating is going to be very challenging.
Fair enough.
So the other one is Dorsha. Basically, they believe they are the original dark elf before falling to evil. So they are not evil, and the only mechanical change they have is they lose both drow magic and sunlight sensitivity. So kind of you lose the benefit of the drow magic, but you're no longer have the sensitivity to sunlight.
Okay.
Because normally dark elf have, if you're in sunlight, you have, I can't remember mechanically what the penalties are. But draw magic, you get magic. You get certain things you can do. You lose both of them. So
yeah, drow. I know drows get because I play one in the other campaign. Cantrips, but I don't remember the sunlight sensitivity thing either because we don't play with that. But they get darkness and fairy fire as racial cantrips.
yeah. I just couldn't remember what it was like mechanically. I was just like, okay, I don't want them to have those sunlight sensitivity, so that's getting rid of a flaw. So I have to get rid of one of their benefits as well, and that's just kind of what I picked. But again, they believe, like I said, they were the original dark elf before the standard drow fell to corruption or whatever happened to make them evil. So now onto gnomes.
Are they well known?
No, but they are good merchants.
Oh, okay.
So all gnomes consider Zhyref to be their homeland regardless of their actual birthplace. Zhyref is the kingdom of gnomes. They love to make a good deal and believe that the first merchant was actually a gnome. All their buildings have a Persian design to them. And worship of the gods isn't common, but it's not shunned. Most of them will pick a patron, but not really do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
So they're Ferengi is what you're saying.
But they don't. I don't picture them as they like worship money. It's more that they love a good deal. That they love the art of making the deal. Making money is just a happy coincidence. So picture Ferengi only with a slight moral compass.
I don't know that I can do that.
I mean, there's a couple.
Well, yeah, there were. So
I was gonna say,
Quark.
I don't know if Quark had much of a
he had
moral compass.
He had more of a moral compass. He had more of a moral compass than most Ferengis did. So.
Fair
anyway,
enough.
That's a whole.
I was thinking more his brother and his nephew. But anyways, yeah. Go ahead.
So, next, we go on to the dwarves. So the only major thing that differs in my world with dwarves is their names. And it's more how they give out their names to people. So a dwarf will have 3 names: their clan name, their surname, and their first name. To people they don't know, they'll give out their clan name first. So they basically go backwards. If I don't know you, I give you my clan name. If I know you and you're a friend, then you get my surname. If you're like family or like you're a really, really close friend, you can use their first name.
Mm-hmm.
In rare occasions, they will give someone their full name to a stranger, such as like a noble or an important figure, where it would be disrespectful to do such a thing. Okay. And there are currently 7 different clans that I have, and it's basically divided up into each clan has a particular role that they play within the kingdom. Basically, I have the names and the roles reversed. So the different roles are: there's miners, builders, soldiers, priests, mages, nobles, and guards. And so, like I said, I have the name and role reversed. So if you're reading, then where it says clan role, that's actually the clan name. So so that would be like if you're a miner, if you're from the miner clan, and you're meeting someone that's a stranger, you would give out, well, I am Dolvray. That's how they'd give their name, and then it would proceed with your surname and first name as the relationship increased.
Okay.
Tieflings. So tieflings, in my setting, they've pretty much all forgotten their original origins and the legends that were told where they came from. There are the legends and stories, and based upon your character's knowledge of history, you may know some of them, but we haven't got to that point yet. And they have no home nation. They're pretty much spread out through the world as normal. Dragonborn. Dragonborn are one of the many races that call Fang Island their home. And I agree. Whatever that drop was.
I think that was my upstairs neighbors. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I was just like, well said. The half races like half elf and half orc, it's just standard per the book. There's nothing really out of the ordinary for them. I mean, half orcs are, oh, you're an orc, you're dumb and strong. Halflings. So halflings are nomads. Their homeland used to be known as Yusan, which the land physically exists, but nobody lives there anymore. Most wandering caravans are run by a family of halflings. Some do choose a town or city to live in, moving on from the loss of Yusan in their past. So that's all the core races in the core book. Like I said, if any of you have any races in any of the other books you want to play as, let me know, and I'll update this with where they fit into the setting. Realize you go something kind of wild and crazy, I might not have anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm willing to put them in there somewhere. Just let me know. So any questions about or comments about any of that information?
Not really. I'm just really, like I said, just taking it in right now. I'm sure I'll have some questions, but it'll.
Oh, that's fine. I'm not saying it's like nope, questions now or no questions at all.
Hey,
When do we
unless
get to
noted,
swear?
unless noted, do the races mechanically work the same or?
Yes. The
Okay.
only one that right now has any mechanical change is the second branch of the Dark Elf. That's the only
Gotcha.
one that has any mechanical change. I
Gotcha.
try
So
to
it's
stick.
like
I try to stick away from altering mechanics, because you start altering mechanics, and now you're like, okay, where do you stop?
Right.
It can get very gray really easily, which is even why with that, the Dorsha, I was hesitant to do that, but I was like, well, they are different, so I had to mechanically make them a little different.
so
Right.
it's kind of just like mostly aesthetic, aside from like the customs and all that stuff that come with the race.
Yeah. So like, okay, for the humans, it's how you're gonna appear. You know, um, if you're Remian, then you're gonna look Asian, or if you're Soren, you're gonna look like a mixture of African or Caribbean. Um, Now it's not saying you have to 100% stick to the um kind of what I've typed out, because there is going to be like, oh, maybe you are a Remian who, well, yeah, I do worship my ancestors, but you know, I am a cleric and I do worship this, god. I do acknowledge they are a god. I'm not saying it's hard and fast and you have to stick with it. It's just like this is the norm. This is kind of like the societal norms of these people. If you can differ from it and deviate, and that's fine, because there is that in life. Life does deviate from norms, and that's fine. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah.
When it comes to the Dragonborns, could we like have like simply cosmetic stuff? Like let's say instead of wanting to look like a Dragonborn, I wanted to look like a humanoid T-Rex or something. You know what I mean? Like more dinosaur than dragon. Would that be allowed? Like just purely cosmetic?
I mean, I don't so much have a problem with that.
Okay.
I mean, it's mechanically, it's all going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's all going to operate in the same way mechanically. Um, but I don't necessarily have so much of an issue, and that actually kind of works with uh, how Fang Island works. So, uh, and this gets it to a bit more of the world as a whole. Um, so Fang Island it's what like the name. It's a large island. Surprise, surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And it's where there was an older kingdom that conducted a lot of experiments in making animals and other monsters humanoid. So that's where you get a lot of your like lizard folk and um dog people, cat people, and all the different hybrid animal people combinations. This is where they came from. They came from
Okay.
an old kingdom conducted experiments, and the kingdom fell, and their experiments lived on. So being kind of dinosaur looking too would be, well, just another one of their branches of research.
Okay.
So I'm playing a Dragonborn that looks like a Tarrasque.
I mean, you can look like it. That doesn't mean you are one.
No, I don't.
um, So, any more questions about race or anything like that before I kind of move on to the next topic?
Nada.
Okay.
Would classes fall into this, or is that going to be a completely separate topic for you?
So, classes don't really have anything different worth noting. Like as far as like the world goes. The only thing that would probably have any difference would be Warlock. And that would be only specifically if you pick when we get to that point, the Great Old One. I actually have kind of established Great Old Ones set out. But again, that's a very specific, thing. But other than that, the classes are pretty much as they are.
Yeah. Are you limiting what classes can be played? And the
Nope.
only reason I ask that is because like some DMs, the specific example that I'm looking at, I don't necessarily know that I would play this because I have another idea for my character. But the only reason I ask that is because some DMs don't like to play with Blood Hunter because Blood Hunter was added after the core rulebook came out. It was a character that was created by, or a class that was created by Matt Mercer. Some consider it to be extremely OP, and some consider it to be extremely weak, depending on how you do it. So some DMs don't like to play with Blood Hunters as a class. And so I didn't know if there was going to be a restriction on, and I'm not throwing Blood Hunters on the bus here. I just didn't know if there was a restriction on, no, I don't want you to play Blood Hunters or Druids or whatever.
I don't know anything about Blood Hunter. I've heard about it, but I've never read into it. So I'd say anybody that wants to play it, make sure you know how it works mechanically, because I'll basically be relying on you to tell me how it works.
Okay.
Because I've never read into it.
It is considered to be part of the core classes, and I mean, it was added to the 2014 rule set, but because it was an addition later on, some people have issue with it, and that's why it was
okay. Yeah,
kind of a thing.
I don't have a problem with it. If somebody wants to play it, go right ahead. I don't have an issue with it. Like I said, just I'll be relying on you to know mechanically how everything works, because I won't know.
Okay. Well, it's what I'm looking at for the spin-off campaign that I was talking about earlier that I'm probably going to play. Actually, I am going to play it. So if somebody does want to play Blood Hunter, I've researched it. I can help you with that.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm playing yet. Although
I mean, it's
some,
all new, so I mean,
You're playing D&D.
oh, am I?
D&D.
Well, crap, I'm in the wrong channel. See you guys later.
Oh crap! So does that mean we can switch? No, I'm just kidding. I'm done.
So the next thing I'll be getting into is a little bit of the world history. Again, this is going to be a very, very extreme skimming of the surface. But this is going to be just important things that most people are going to be aware of. Like it's the fourth era, year 50 is when you guys will be starting. The fourth era started after the end of the Great Spirit War. And the era before it only lasted about 68 years. And the third era began after the Year of Darkness ended. The second era was the Year of Darkness. And before that is just considered pre-Year of Darkness. Obviously, there are things that happened other than that, but that would, require a character with knowledge of history. But that's kind of a very brief, rough overview of kind of what year it is in the game and why it's considered that.
Okay.
Run. So, on the website, there is a small map. This will be the rough area you guys will be playing in. So the area in the pinkish orange is mainly where you guys will be playing. It is considered the free cities. And there is no king or any other type of governing body that owns all that land. Each city is its own independent city-state. That's not saying they don't cooperate and they haven't formed some sort of, loose affiliation just due to being able to, hey, I'm a small, farming settlement. I can't defend myself against, a whole other kingdom. But each town is responsible for governing itself, basically. So Haran City in the middle is typically regarded as the capital of it, if there was to be considered a capital. And that's where the game will basically start, is in Haran City. And it's if you picture an old military fort that, as a small town grows up around it and they wall that in, and then it keeps growing. So you basically have a city that's grown over the years. That's a lot of walled in sections all kind of mashed together. Is kind of how it looks.
Okay.
So it's a extremely well defended location because it's, gate upon gate upon gate upon gate that they can just keep falling back. And it's like, okay, you're going to exhaust all your resources by the time you actually get to the core of the city. And as you can see, there are other small little towns on here. The only other major city up at the top is White Cliff. White Cliff is one of the major shipping ports on the continent as a whole. So a lot of trade comes in and out of there. The only other three I have on here are, so Ravenswood is just a small farming community. Emerald Rose Grove is a druid grove, and Inverdew is a small mining community. That's not saying there aren't other small towns scattered throughout here, but they're just not really worth putting on a map. So
I want a full map. Sorry.
I mean, I have a full map, but it's basically like, this is the information. Like, so basically, the way it'll be is when you guys make your character, and you will have been given this map. Like, this is a copy, like a colored version. The one you get is just basically parchment and ink. But this is the map you're given of the area. So that's why I have it cropped, is because that's basically what they've given you.
Okay.
It's given the area, the roads kind of in and out, and the kingdom below it, the capital and town. So that's kind of why I did it that way, is just because that's, if you want to buy a bigger map, then as soon as somebody does, I will update this.
Okay.
So
Not, you know, I'm just messing with you anyways.
yeah, I know.
I mean,
and it wouldn't be a proper, podcast if somebody wasn't giving somebody, heck for.
yeah. Well, it's specifically like for sure a good thing to give you some crap because you're all about crap. So
yeah, I'm a real crappy person.
I wouldn't say that.
So on to the okay. So the only other two things I have actually updated on the website is deities and factions. So I will just quickly go through the deities. And I'm just going to read these off real quick. So all these listed here are either good or neutral. There are no evil deities listed. Because like I said, I don't have any of them done.
Mm-hmm.
There's Ophelia, Polari, Suresti, Baron, Dewa, Havari, Navit, Kane, Kane, Fluetta, and Gaerbeth.
You sound like frickin' Ash trying to read out of the Necronomicon. Sorry, I just had to say that.
Klata, Baratu.
Necktie!
Wow.
Come on, he sounded like that.
And they each have, their own alignment, favored weapon, their edicts, and anathema. There are elemental spirits, and basically elemental spirits are viewed as a living embodiment of that element, as such do not view what mortals consider any harmful act any different than a helpful one. So they are all pure neutral. And it's all, the standard elements: earth, fire, wind, water, nature, and then life, death, light, and darkness. Any more knowledge would require a character of actual religion. And there's there's factions in here. The only one I'm going to really mention is the Adventurers Guild, which you guys will be part of. Basically, the Adventurers Guild serves as it serves as a meeting and gathering place for adventurers. It came about as kingdoms wanted a way to try to somehow regulate or control the somewhat chaotic nature that adventures represent. You can get work out the Adventurers Guild, but there's no, like you go to work for Farmer Bill and kill the wolf problem he has. You come back and demand payment. He's like, I never told him I'd pay you anything. And you have no legal recourse to, sue him or whatever.
Do you have the right to demand for Wheaties?
I mean, if he knows what Wheaties are.
I demand Wheaties as compensation for not being paid.
But if you go through the Adventurers Guild, it's all backed up and legal, basically.
Bonded and insured.
Yeah. It's basically a way to, it's like you get paid, you make sure you're following a certain code of conduct. And
so wait, even in a D&D campaign, there's a union? Jeez.
I mean, essentially, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much what you're saying.
That's how it is.
We unionize DVD. Sorry, D&D. Sorry, wrong game.
How dare you?
Sorry.
Slander.
It's separated by one letter and one mark. Come on now.
So, and like I said, I'm going to be updating this as time goes on. and you're feel free to look through this. I will try to, in the links, kind of update it when I update it, so it'll be, oh, like he's posted new information. But like I said, this will serve as a good point for world info as a reference to, oh, hey, what was this again? You can just go back and look at it. So hopefully that's kind of giving you some information on the world. You can kind of start formulating an idea. Like I said, when we do the session 0, that'll be a little bit more. It'll more useful as far as knowing how your characters are going to interact and how they've known each other and all that type of stuff.
So just so everybody knows, anybody out there in podcast land or wherever you're listening to this to, or from, session 0 is not going to be recorded. If that's something you would like to see, or hear rather, because it's not going to be like, we're not going to do a Twitch stream over that. But if it's something you'd like to hear, maybe we can record it and put it on like a Patreon page or something like that. I don't know. For future, it'll be really boring. But if anybody wants to see that, please comment. Let us know what your thoughts are on that. All right, that's all I had to say. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
Real quick, just for those who don't know what D&D is, and this is the first time you're hearing it, to be surprised of the gamer community as you haven't. Just to jump into that a little bit deeper, session 0 is the technical session. There's a lot of math rocks being thrown, a lot of questions. It is extremely dull.
No one said anything about
push
math.
Off on that, but
I'm out.
Oh no, this game is all about math.
I know.
Just whip out your calculator, man. Just cheat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's okay. No, I'm good with that. So, anyways, back to you, Bones.
So, I guess I'd say unless anybody has anybody have any questions or anything like that.
Well,
like
we
I
haven't
said-
heard from Grim or Vesa very much. So, Grim, do you have anything to add? Like anything to ask?
I mean, not really, no. Everything seems good.
Okay, and Vesa, what about you? Because I want to hear you all,
You just want to hear my voice.
That's right, exactly.
I love hearing your voice. I don't know if that counts anything for anything.
It counteracts Raven's voice.
Oh.
Oh, no,
I
I'm kidding.
cannot talk enough to counteract his voice.
Oh.
But anyway,
attacked.
so I love you, Raven. You know I do. But anyway, so Vesa, is there anything you wanted to ask Zhombi while we're here before we end? Because we've only got a couple more minutes.
No, what I have to ask, I can ask him through DMs.
Okay.
It's about the lines and crosses.
Okay. Well, then I'm assuming Arson, you're good.
Uh-huh.
I ain't
I'm
gonna
just
lie.
gonna wait 3 months. 3 months from now. 3 months. That's all. 2 months actually.
I ain't gonna lie. When it comes to like doing this, I was listening while I was also looking for overlays and stuff for to transform my stream into a D&D campaign. So I've got a lot of stuff done. It's kind of like when Zhombi was cleaning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I did get all that stuff done. I got a really cool dragon one, and I actually found a D20 stinger, like a transitional screen, like how my Phoenix is whenever you switch between screens. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. Anyways, go ahead.
That's fun. I would say that's funny because I've been doing some stuff in the background here too for it.
Yeah,
Which
well,
I can explain when we're done.
I just wanted
I'm
to get.
being a mom and doing something for our kids. So
Well, I'm just trying to get all this together, and I figured this is the perfect time to do it. So, anyways, while listening to Zombie, I may have missed a few things, but I did read over. I went through the website and looked at everything. So, the character creation stuff, like the races and stuff, I already read. So, anyways, continue or
So,
end.
I was gonna say, unless if anybody's got any questions, and if you do, like you can just send me a DM or anything like that. That's fine. Well, and I guess if that's it, then roll on.
Hold on, you literally forgot the whole thing. This goes with the hosting, so you gotta properly take us out, as in like Link do the thing, blah blah blah. Go ahead.
I did. I'm good.
Oh wow. Wow. Well, all right, we'll just end it then.
Cool. All right then. Make sure to eat your Wheaties.